United Center. Now it's time to tip off with Crown Royal. Tierra Cruz is up here on this Thursday night. Like I said, the last tip of the night here in the W, into the hands of Gabby Williams, and Seattle will get the first crack at it. Diggins driving against Rachel Banham. No call.
Skylar got away with the travel there, but that was an interesting set that Seattle was in. They just did set a guard-to-guard ball screen, and Chicago didn't switch that.
And what do you make of this starting lineup? It's a little bit of a taller starting lineup for the Sky here tonight.
It's not just tall, it's a big. In essence, you're starting two centers for Chicago right now.
Rachel Banham pulls the trigger. Well, both of these teams coming off of losses. The Sky have dropped their last three. Now the Storm lost big to the Wings, 87-63 in their last game. This starts 3 straight road games for Seattle. They turn it over on the second possession. Here's Rebecca Allen over to Elizabeth Williams, no problem. Ties it at 2.
This has been an issue for Seattle all season long. They give up a lot of pain points. They do a great job of applying pressure on the perimeter, but they're really susceptible to slips.
Skylar Diggins leads the Storm in scoring, a team-high 17.5 that she'll pour in here this year, also an all-star. And Magbagor is guilty of the first personal foul, trying to D up Cardoso.
This is just some awesome defense, creating an offensive opportunity for Seattle, or for Chicago. Seattle is giving up about 37 paint points. They do a great job of switching everything on the perimeter with their length, but it also makes them susceptible to slips and mismatches in the paint.
You mentioned the points in the paint that they give up, the second most to opponents, anywhere from 36 to 37 a game. Guy.
That's almost the starting 5 that's out right now for Chicago.
And Nneka Ogwumike, what, at 35 years old, you were looking at how good she has played even just in her 30s, if you take a sample size there. Kia Nurse from 3. Now Nurse had a really good game coming off from Minnesota, led the team in scoring, 16 points that she poured in. Also had 8 rebounds. And we'll head back the other way, but Seattle saying it's tipped, and Kevin Fahey agrees, so they changed the call. It'll be Storm basketball. You look at Noelle Quinn, the 7th head coach in the Storm history. Only person with a WNBA championship as a player, as a coach, picked it up as an assistant back in 2020.
I coached against Noelle when she was a student athlete at UCLA, and I was in the, back then it was called the Pac-10. And she was, you want to talk about competitive fire as an athlete, doesn't surprise me at all that she got into coaching.
She's also got that familiar face, Pokey Chapman, on the sideline, working for her for about the 4th straight year. All right, Gabby Williams to take it out for the Storm. 16 seconds here to work with. Ogwumike on 2. Between Ogwumike and Diggins, they've taken all 5 of the Storm's first shots here to begin with. The Sky turn it over. That was a problem against Minnesota. 23 turnovers, resulting in 20 points off turnovers against the Lynx. And Erica Wheeler gets some points off turnovers with the corner tray.
That's an area of Erica Wheeler's game where she has really improved this last season, is behind the arc.
Rachel Banham feeding Cardoso, brilliantly done. The pass, the catch, and the finish.
This is something that I'm going to keep my eye on all night, Lisa, is Seattle's ball screen defense. How are they going to keep Chicago out of the paint on their rolls and slips?
Magbagor draws the foul against Cardoso. She had a foul defense, so both of them have a foul each now. That is a matchup here to watch.
And so the advantage, the strengths of each player relates to the weaknesses of the other. And what I mean by that is Camila is very physical. You notice that the foul that Ezzie got was trying to guard Camila in the paint in transition. Meanwhile, Ezzie is a face-up post player, and that's been an issue that Camila has had against post players who aren't really back to basket, but who like to face up.
Ezzie Magbagor, 5 of the last 6 games, she's been in double figures. She sinks in the free throw attempts, 2 for 2. Tyler Marsh had talked about the turnovers against Minnesota. Felt like they were real physical and they gave into that. Cardoso with the miss. Talk about physicality. Magbagor goes down to the floor. Doesn't matter for Diggins. Didn't have the numbers, but she's still pushing. Magbagor for three, off the mark, the left side of the rim. She's shooting 16% from there. Has only made 4 3-pointers for the season. Here's Banham. Side step three, not there. Only shot it 4 times against Minnesota on Tuesday. That was a season low since she's been a starter.
And I think that's the impact of not being able to play with Ariel Atkins. Ariel Atkins was that extra ball handler that Rachel Banham needed to play with in order to give herself some opportunities to score.
Skylar Diggins, her second field goal, her first 3-pointer. Yeah, you're right. With the players that the Sky are missing, you're absolutely right. It's almost like a starting 5. There's Kia Nurse, who pours it in from the baseline, her first points. Kia Nurse started the first game since June 21st when she was back in the starting lineup Tuesday against Minnesota, and stays in the starting lineup tonight. And Neko Ogumake with the fouls, trying to set the screen. That's her first.
I've seen this being called more this season than I can recall any other year in the WNBA, and that's the foul on the handoff play, the DHO, the dribble handoff.
And is it just me, but I feel like Rachel Banham is always the one who goes down on the floor. Like she's always sandwiched in between.
She's out there chasing guards around those screens, that's why.
Is. Trying to go up and over the screen like she was there. Magbagor, one of the best shot blockers in the league, gets the Sky that time. Here's Wheeler, the wing shot, and Tyler Marsh has seen enough. You know, the Storm have come out red hot shooting from 3. They struggled. Van Lith has checked in. Speaking of rookies, you're going to sit down in the conversation with Haley Van Lith at halftime.
Great conversation.
We're putting the rookies to it here tonight. Haley Van Lith coming off the most minutes that she's played on Tuesday in her career. 6 seconds, has to put it up. And Seattle looking to push. They're so good with fast break points here this year. Magbagor, the recipient of that Ogumake pass.
Well, that's how Seattle scores. They're not a great 3-point shooting team. They can create some points off their defense, but they really want to get out and run in fast break.
Got a foul call against Wheeler. That's her first. Patty Fever back in 2022. Rebecca Allen for 3. Neil Ivey, of course, coached 2 players that she's watching, right? Skylar Diggins, and we talked about Maddie Westbell. Coach Skylar as an assistant, and Maddie as a head coach.
And she was Skylar's position coach. They were extremely close when they got to work together.
It's just a short, maybe about a 90-minute drive from South Bend to Chicago.
And Neil has just done an excellent job taking over for the legend, the Hall of Famer Muffet McGraw, in her first head coaching job.
Muffet finds herself at plenty of Sky home games. Ogumake, 4-3. Now she's making and shooting more of those this year. Kia Nurse looking at her options. Her toe is on the line, leaves it short.
I don't mind Kia Nurse calling her own number at all in that situation.
Van Lith, good pass to Williams, who called for it. I love that connection too, and E. Will immediately pointing at Haley and recognizing her vision on that.
Haley had a team-high 4 assists against Minnesota the other night. I like that the rookie is taking advantage of the minutes that she gets.
Ogumake with another bucket. Anything interesting that you can pull and tease from your halftime conversation with Haley?
I will say this about Haley Van Lith is, for a rookie, she has an extreme sense of self-awareness. She's very aware of her shortcomings, just a really positive disposition. I think the fan base is going to enjoy that.
Williams looking to cross over, and she gets crossed over a little bit. We got a foul call, though, with bodies on the deck. And it looks like a foul on Ogumake. That'll be her second, and you see Quinn's reaction.
Well, I didn't know if the officials were going to, who they were going to call that
It's 2 on Nneka, who's the second leading scorer. An all-star starter once again. In fact, Diggins and Ogumike were teammates with Angel Reese on Team Collier last weekend. Here's Van Lith, who pulls up from the elbow. And one and done there for the Sky. Gabby Williams draws the contact and will get a free throw coming. Van Lith's first personal.
With Gabby
at the scoreboard, I wouldn't have guessed that the Sky would have been trailing by 9. How do you feel as this first quarter is continuing to transform here for the Sky?
I like the way Chicago came out, Lisa. I thought they had great energy. They were very connected on the defensive end. They missed a few layups, and then the turnovers have been an issue again. And I think that that's what really has hampered them so far in this quarter.
Hampered them tonight, and again, we mentioned 23 turnovers that they committed, the 3rd highest of the season against the Lynx on Tuesday. And a foul against Kia Nurse, her first. And the 3rd team foul for the Sky, with about 2.5 left to play here in the first quarter. Largest lead has been 14.
This is a tough matchup for Chicago. When you just look right now on the court, other than the rookie Malonga, every player for Seattle right now are seasoned vets. And they're playing against a very young team. Chicago has 2 rookies in the game right now and a sophomore.
Now Cardoso draws the foul on Malonga.
To score before Seattle can get set up is going to behoove them.
Magellan Corporation, a specialty steel distributor with a heart of gold and proud sponsor of the Chicago Sky. Talk about Niele Ivey watching some of her former players. Pookie Chapman watching Cardoso. The 2 of them linked up at AmeriCup. Pookie Chapman, the head coach of the Brazilian team. Cardoso really successful in that tournament play. Malonga leans down, and she's got all kinds of potential. She picks up her first bucket.
What I like about the rookie Malonga is that she is not afraid of physicality.
Now,
when I asked Haley what some of her biggest adjustments have been, that's what she said, is as a rookie is being vocal and telling these vets what position that they're in and where to go.
Rachel Panam, she'd been waiting for that one and missed her first 2 attempts, sinks that one no problem.
See Chicago's dropping back in the zone. So on makes, it looks like they're going zone on Mrs. Man.
You like that decision?
I do. I think that's great adjustments. It's great coaching. Chicago's very short-handed right now. This staff has to come up with some different schemes in order to make up for it.
Van Lith, good post entry pass. Cardoso has come to play in the first quarter. 5 points for Camila. Got, 4 guards here kind of surrounding her. Nneka Ogumike with the 2 personal fouls on the bench for the Storm here right now. Up fake by Wheeler, another up fake, got Banham in the air. Malonga, offensive rebound, and she draws the foul.
Williams pushed her back. You can't penalize Malonga for being taller than Elizabeth.
It's the 4th team foul for the Sky. It wasn't a shooting foul, and so we play on a sideline out of bounds here for Seattle. 9 here to shoot. Wheeler from 2-point territory, and Malonga again, right?
But that time, Elizabeth Williams actually boxed out.
That's the IQ of Elizabeth Williams. You're not going to fool me. Not going to fool me twice.
No, not he will.
A slight differential between game and shot clock, about 3 seconds. Banham from 2-point territory. She's got 5 points.
Rachel's really developed her floater and her mid-range game this season.
3-pointer for Wheeler, not there. Van Lith doesn't have enough time to launch it in time. But some good Butler with you. And Seattle led from start to finish in that first quarter by as many as 15. And forcing the turnover on the first possession, Lexi Brown, Malonga with the finish. Malonga's had a very productive game here so far off the bench. She's got 6 points.
But that's a glimpse of that Seattle pressure perimeter defense that I was talking about as Rachel Banham gets fouled on the drive to the basket. When you have the length that Seattle has, you're able to do different things on the perimeter, like that hard, long hedge that we just saw from Malonga that forced that turnover by Van Lith.
It's the second personal on Wheeler. 7 minutes in the first quarter. Interesting, Seattle starts small again to begin the second quarter. The same way that they ended the first quarter against this guy. Now Chicago, if you're just joining us, no Angel Reese here tonight, out with a back injury. She was listed as questionable the entire day. No Ariel Atkins, who's missing her 3rd straight game. Michaela Onyenwere missing her 2nd straight game. And of course, Courtney Vandersloot out for the season. How about Westfeld with the block? Allen driving baseline, gives it up. Banham waiting, catch and shoot.
Did result in a basket, but that's the type of offense and ball movement that we highlighted in the pregame.
Oh, Malonga trying to get possession. And Elizabeth Williams knocks it out of her hands. Will going to work defensively. Malonga listed at 6'6". But again, that leg. Westfeld confidently drains the three-pointer right in front of her former head coach.
Maddie Westfeld is understanding that she needs to be aggressive and look and take her shots when she's in the game.
I want to apologize for the video issues that we're having for those watching. Seattle, Chicago from Wintrust Arena on this Thursday night, and Wheeler can't get it. Banham diving on the deck. Look out, look at the hustle. Rachel Banham to Elizabeth Williams. The crowd appreciating it. Oh, an offensive foul call on Will.
But what great effort by Rachel Banham.
One of the most exciting plays that didn't result in the basket I've seen here at Wintrust this year. Seattle with a 6-point advantage. Skylar Dickens, a high arcing three-pointer falls. Shooting almost 40% for the season. It had been a minute since she had knocked home a three-pointer. Rachel Banham, as Clark comes charging. That up fake is dangerous. Alicia Clark scores personal.
That's too bad Rachel couldn't get that shot off.
She tried.
She'd be going to the line for 3. But that's because Rachel is such a dangerous three-point shooter that the defender had to come out with that hard closeout. Respect the shot.
Cardoso posted up. Malonga, who went down on the deck, and she's still down. Cardoso, meanwhile, they let her play on. She's got 7 points. But Dominique Malonga holding that left ankle. Wintrust Arena, 31-24. Seattle with the lead. McLegore trying to go right at Cardoso. I just love watching those two.
That was a bad business decision by Ezzy, because that was textbook post defense by Camila.
Look at this, though. She breaks up the pass, and Ezzy's on the move, and we got another Storm player down. Gabby Williams.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So 2 personal fouls on Cardoso, 2 on Elizabeth Williams. We want to welcome back all the WNBA fans tuning in. We apologize sincerely for some of the technical difficulties we've been having here at Wintrust. We appreciate, again, you staying with us here. The Seattle and Chicago, the Storm had a lead as big as 15 points. They lead 31-24. Shimmy Miller, Lisa Bynes, and Kalia Butler on the sideline for us. Westfeld leaves it short. Now, Chicago coming in short-handed. They're missing 4 key players tonight, including Angel Reese, as Skylar Dickens draws a foul. Now, she's showing up in a couple of days. But Angel is one of 4 players that Chicago is without here tonight. University of Chicago Medicine, proud to be the exclusive medical provider for your Chicago Sky. You, Chicago Medicine, at the forefront. No Ariel Atkins, missing her 3rd straight game. No Michaela Onyenwede, her 2nd game missed. And of course, Courtney Vandersloot is out for the season with the ACL tear. And as you said, Shimmy, at the beginning of the game, that's like a starting 4 right there.
I mean, at various times this season, all 4 have started ball games for the Sky.
Well, Seattle has led the entire way. And here's a look at the newest pickup, Cardoso with the putback. But Marquisha Davis getting some time, her first time as a Chicago Sky player. She was picked up on a 7-day hardship contract. She had the missed shot there, and Cardoso with the cleanup job.
But what you saw from her is exactly why Tyler Marsh, why they went and picked her up. She's a big guard, she's athletic, she's strong. It's a nice downhill attack.
And Davis, a part of our Chicago Sky First, brought to you by First Lady. The official said with all the injuries for Chicago, had to pick someone up. She's on a 7-day. Here she is. And a carrying call. It's always tough for 7-day players. You're going into a new system, new rotations, new coaches, and you got to act like you've been there the whole season.
Well, and that's what being a pro is all about. So she landed in Minnesota, she joined the team, and then she immediately started studying the playbook.
Here's Banham on the push, but Wheeler picks her pocket. Out to Diggins. And turnovers for touchdowns is what Seattle can do. And Chicago coughs it up the most in the league here this year. That results, of course, in the most points off turnovers this year. Banham dropping it off to Cardoso. Magbagor defending. Here's Westbeld. Maddie Westbeld fading away. Out, squeezes out. Diggins drops it off. Magbagor to a cutting Ogumake.
I'm not a fan of the Westbeld-Ogumake matchup, and it is what it is right now. That's how it has to be because of who's on the court. But what you just saw from Ogumake is a seasoned vet just schooling a rookie with the back cut.
Nneka playing in her 14th season, 35 years old, and still looks like she's playing like she's 25 years old. And here to Tyler Marsh and the folks here at Wintrust, so the solution is to jump it up.
Well, it's obvious. It's Chicago's ball, Lisa. Can't you hear the fans in here?
Right.
They're
we
trying
should
to help the
always
officials
make decisions based on the home crowd, right?
Yes.
All right, it's into the hands here for Wheeler. Well, Tiffany Mitchell trying to find her way as one of the newest members of Seattle. Her 5th franchise. Started the season with Vegas, played about 16 games for the Aces. Cardoso can't clean it up, and another turnover for the Sky. We're talking 9 turnovers here so far in the first half.
Those low bounce passes off the ball screen, those are always challenging for someone that's 6'7". They have to bend down and get that. I prefer a higher pass.
It's been a point of emphasis, trying to clean up the turnover story for the Sky all season long. They're coming off 23 turnovers Tuesday against the Lynx. Here's Davis, looking to make a move, not shy, in and out. Got a good look at it.
Well, she's a WNBA champion. She can't afford to be shy. She's on a 7-day contract. But I like this matchup of Elizabeth Williams versus Nneka much better if they can just get to it.
Elizabeth Williams looking for Cardoso, and 10 turnovers. We'll take a timeout. The Storm with an 11-point advantage.
In their last game against Minnesota, and that just can't happen again today.
You know, and frustration is a great way to describe it. Tyler Marsh, I know, had a video session with his team, just kind of going over where that frustration stemmed from, the physicality, the pressure that Minnesota brought. Wanted to be prepared for maybe some similar looks here tonight against Seattle, regardless of who was going to be out there and healthy.
Excellent response by Chicago coming out of that timeout. I really like the pressure. They made it very difficult for Seattle to run anything in that possession.
Even shorthanded, the Sky within shouting distance here with under 2 minutes to play. They just got to clean it up. Turnover after turnover after turnover. I mean, 3 straight in the last offense. Trying to clean up mistakes, clean up sometimes unforced turnovers.
When I was a coach, I used to say, I'm okay if you make aggressive mistakes. I would rather you make an aggressive mistake than just a mistake that comes from lack of effort. Right now, Chicago's making aggressive mistakes, Lisa.
And there's some aggressiveness. Van Lith against Diggins. Good challenge. Made it tough for Skylar and forced a shot clock violation.
The challenge. She will not back down from anyone, even an all-star like Skylar Diggins.
Score's kind of been locked at 37-26 for a little bit here. Marquisha Davis, again, the 7-day hardship contract pickup. Forced to kick it out with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Davis open. Magbacor, another block. Oh.
Shoot it.
She's averaging 2 blocks per game. She's already at 2 blocks here tonight in the first half. Williams, count it. Magbacor with an and one chance.
Magbacor with the sneaky cut to the basket, caught Kia Nurse flat-footed. And then 2 wrongs don't make a right. You give up the layup and then you can't come in late and give up the and one.
Largest lead has been 15. Lead right now sits at 13. A chance to match that largest lead, perhaps in the final few seconds here with a missed free throw. Elizabeth Williams going right at Agumake. Magbacor with the rebound. And Ezzy with 5 rebounds to go with her 6 points, a couple of blocks. It's amazing to me, Magbacor doesn't have a double-double yet this season in the way she plays. They get another opportunity. Second chance opportunity here for Seattle. 7 seconds, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Gabby Williams to Ogumake. Gets her own miss. How about a third opportunity? Oh, Seattle is just going to melt out the clock in this final possession. You're getting 3 looks at it and coming up empty-handed.